Hello YouTube. Right now what we're gonna do, I'm with Wout. Wout?
You know better than that, man. That's
This
not
is
even
Wout.
funny.
He's the smartest person I know. He runs a very, very successful shop in Europe that builds crazy, the best drift cars you've ever seen in your life. I only know this because he always tells me.
Oh man, I never say that. I never say that. Jesus.
So we're gonna walk around the pits right now and go look at some drift cars. He's gonna tell me what's wrong with each one. Maybe I'll say something. But let's go.
So it started with this one over here.
Check this out. I have a pocket. Want some?
What is it?
It's pocket snacks.
Oh, cool.
So the very first car we're gonna look at is my car. Light it up. Let's see what's wrong. What's good, what's bad. I would say this is very poor header routing. I think it would be a lot better if they were attached to the engine and went through the car.
Yeah, it would work best attached to the motor.
So what I think we should do is you should point out routing of coolants, fabrication stuff, just kind of chat about everything because you're the expert, I'm not.
Oh, you know enough.
No, I don't. We're doing all the cars.
I like this car because it looks very purpose-built. As Mark is under it, fixing it, there we can see the angry bear.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Sticky headers.
Sticky headers, so they don't fit. Like this is about the best fitment you'll get from a sticky header ever.
We have to gasket them on.
Yeah, so sticky stuff normally doesn't fit, so that's something I really don't like. What I see over here is that they went with a rear mount radiator, as I remember from the Driftweek 2 when Aaron brought this car. There was some overheating issues at NOLA, and those guys did a lot of stuff at NOLA. So I guess that's why you guys went with a rear mount.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just have pocket snacks.
It looks like kind of a budget way to do it. This obviously would be better if it was here, but that's probably normally sitting there, right?
Cameraman, do you want one?
I guess. Man, you're distracting everybody. You can't give the viewers those. It's not very nice. I suppose this is going to sit over here because then you have a high point for the air to bleed out. Nice eBay catch can. These things kind of hit and miss. Some of them work really well. Some of them don't work really well.
How does a throw out or a throttle body not work well?
Ask anybody. So it happens a lot that they that the flow, etc., from the throttle body isn't correct. So that you put a way bigger one on than is matched with the intake, and that's like sometimes 40, 50 horsepower. Like it's really underrated. So matching the throttle body with the intake, that's really important. Not too big, not too small, obviously. It's best to check out with somebody who knows exactly what setup they run. If you have the drive-by-wire ones, I can tell like you have a throttle cable. That's what I really prefer. I'm not a big drive-by-wire fan, and everybody says, no, it never has any problem and your throttle cable can snap. I never had a throttle cable snap in my life.
He doesn't like electric things.
I don't like excessive electric things. Clutch kickers, not this round, but the round before, there was 4 people with drive-by-wire problems. 4 people. Also, sometimes the computer can't handle the flow of the drive-by-wire throttle body. So, or like the movement of the flap. So it's like not 100% registering it or all kinds of things. Some guys can't get more than 60% out of it because of some error or whatever. So I like this cable, kind of nice. Make sure that you have an extra cable, of course. And for the rest, it looks like kind of a car that's never been completely built. So it's probably been an evolution over the years. Can tell that it's never been completely stripped.
Mostly we just fix things as it breaks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
We don't work on it unless it breaks. And then we like to work at it at the events.
Yeah.
Because it's the best place to work on it because you're forced to. And when you get home, it just stays on the trailer and you forget and you take it back to the event and it's still broken.
And you're on solid motor mounts, so you like that?
No, I hate solid motor mounts, but I'm too cheap to buy ones that like have little poly things in there.
Yeah. So
this is just
I
like
don't like that at all.
Putts. Yeah.
It's also a reason for transmission failure. So enough about this car, I guess.
It doesn't have Wisefab.
No, you should put some Wisefab on here.
I should.
It's amazing. Like you have Wisefab for the Japan car, pretty good.
Yeah, but the car doesn't run, so.
Well, that's not the fault of the lock kit. Transmission, some little transmission problems here, I guess. T56. I think these, like, people should really start buying these because they're going to go up. If you look at the 2J transmissions.
Don't they still make them and sell them from the factory?
They're like $3,700, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, cool. Kind of cool.
Huge shout out to all the sponsors of Driftweek, starting with BC Racing Custom Coilovers, who support more grassroots and professional drifters than any other coilover company. Thank you to WhatMonstersDo.com for supporting all of our content for so long, including our Japanese content. Use the discount code EBISU on their website for a discount. Thank you to NK Wheels. They make so much cool stuff, all the way from my drift wheels all the way up to F1 wheels. Thank you to ECU Master for supporting grassroots guys all the way up to the best driver in the world, James Dean. Thank you to YPlay Imports. If you need a rad right-hand drive car from Japan, hit up Trenton at YPlay Imports and get them before the prices get too high. And thank you to Drift HQ for bringing in that support vehicle. And congratulations on everything that you've been doing this year, Drift HQ. You are killing it.
I just buy cars that have it in there already.
Have what in there already?
The transmissions.
Yeah, okay. But still, like, it can break. This is one of ours, right? The California car.
Yeah. Let's go look at the RX-7. Hey, you want to look at this?
I like this.
All right, let's look at it.
I think this is cool.
Pop the hood. I was like, boss people around. Don't go drive, pop the hood. He has a luggage rack, so you can have more things on top of the car.
Well, let me turn the fan off.
Yeah, this is nice. So,
Nothing special.
like, this is obviously an M50 family motor, which is the best motor ever made.
I changed that more recently. Let me get the updated mileage.
Should be on a little more miles than that. Like, it's run in now. So
I think it.
Hey, 283.
I think all drift cars should know the mileage of the oil filter in there. That's very important on track.
I'm sure you guys swap motors
Because that
out
way
a
you
lot.
only have to change your oil in a drift car every, 10,000 miles.
Yeah.
This is the original motor for this car.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. You never hear that.
How about
It's
this?
the first E36 that hasn't been motor swapped.
This is here so the cops don't see the headers.
Okay.
Cops without lights.
Exactly.
Because you're from California and having headers is a big problem, of course.
Yeah.
Man, that
Look,
sucks.
he has non-matching coil packs.
Yeah, that's what everybody does.
Really?
Yeah, people just trade them out on the track and never put them back. One tip with these engines, put in 6 new coil packs if you buy them, because they deteriorate like a brake pad. So it's one of the biggest tips I always give people. If you buy these, do the water pump and do 6 new coil packs in it. Of course, plugs. If you have, every time you have the coil packs in your hand, put new plugs in it.
The Amazon coil packs are the cheapest?
Just the good ones, man. You even have to ask.
What are the good
just
ones?
Just get the good ones, like original BMW. They're not even that expensive.
I just get whatever I can put in my pockets at the junkyard.
Do whatever you. That's
I like
also
that.
a very good reason. Yeah, Aaron loves that, of course. I don't. The silly smog pump shit, California shit, I guess.
So that's not hooked up because we have headers. It's just there to look like it's there.
It's there to look like it's there, right?
Yeah.
Really good
it's all
motor.
functional. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Everything's there. It's smog compliant.
It's a really good motor. You run the ZF transmission on this?
Yeah, ZF.
Yeah, so
Stock
that's
ZF.
really good. These guys painted it after the last Driftweek. Him and Lucas are like buddies, so they painted up the cars. You should follow this man's Instagram because that's hilarious. He has the funniest Instagram in the whole world.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You have a strut bar. Was it necessary? Can you feel the difference?
I had it on there a long time ago. I don't know if I'm as good as a driver to feel the difference, but I mean, it's good. If I really hit something hard, it'll show me that something's moved. And I feel like because if I smash the front end, hopefully it'll help a little bit.
It's good because it puts extra energy into the other strut tower and moves it as well, so that you don't just have to fix one, you can move both.
If I hit it that hard, I don't know. I have bigger problems to worry about. But yeah, probably. You're right.
How about the roof rack? Is this the one that fell off on the highway?
This is the same one on his car that fell off.
Okay, good.
They're a little sketchy. It caused mine moved back about 6 inches earlier, as you can tell by my fresh paint marks here.
Oh, cool, they're mobile
Yeah.
and adjustable.
Yeah, they are adjustable. A little too much.
This is what I mean.
So what's like, wow, the rad report.
Oh, look at this. He's mixing Japanese style with Euro style.
So,
He's got an in-style seat.
So that's what's fun in this car. It's got an S13 front bumper that's been extended about 6 inches in the center. My buddy did that for me.
What?
It's got
S13 front bumper, you said?
yeah. It's a fiberglass. I don't know what brand or anything, but it's just an S13 bumper.
Oh, on the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So my buddy, it's extended. You see the line right here? There's another one here, but it's extended
Interesting.
about that much. And then it's got Rep Vilside GS300 side skirts, and then the Item Bieber bumper, and then it's got an Aria Mayo wing off of our RX-7.
Okay. That's a lot of parts.
Kind of like a hodgepodge of stuff that kind of flows together.
Where's your rear wing? Where does your rear wing come from?
The roof wing?
Oh, the rear wing.
This is Huxley, and then this is Ari Amenya from RX-7.
Cool.
Actually, I traded wings with him. He's got a Fiero GT wing.
I love Mia. That's like the nice. I would get an FD just to get that kit. Like, it's the best looking kit in the whole world.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's sick.
I'm practicing pretty good. It's got a tuber in it that I did.
Is this Big Duck Club?
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Duck Club. Really good. RJ, good guy. Thank you so much, man. I love this car.
Thank you, Wout.
We need something for you actually to look at that has parts that do things.
All cars have parts that do things.
No, like
Look,
parts
this
that...
is his buddy. It's like kind
It's
of
the
funny.
same thing.
It's the same car.
It's missing a smog pump.
Yeah, and this has felony form. So are we going there?
I don't
there?
know, something that's
You
more
wanted to talk about the
modified.
Mazda. You're a rotary guy. You're a big rotary
Oh,
guy.
I have a car, come on.
Now it's going down. Now it's happening.
This car is Brandon Wicknick's. I want you to talk about things on the car and review them.
Yeah, I love this car because you can see it has had a really tough life. I'm kind of amazed that it still runs because Wicknick runs it really hard. This is the car that got T-boned at Freedom Factory. And this is like, again, like your car. You can tell that this has never really been like a full
Can I turn
build.
the fan on like this?
It's just, yeah.
Oh,
man. Be careful.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it works.
There we go.
Now, Wicknick is really a wizard because the only way I can work on cars if everything works and if I made the whole wiring myself, and like I'm not really good at working at something that somebody else made because I don't understand how they think. But he's like the king of making stuff run on super low budget with like 15-year-old parts and a loom from this car, injectors from that car, a head from that car. Works really well. 2J, of course, legendary motor, especially for Brandon. That's like his last name is 2JZ. Top mount turbo. I like that they're not using like a 90-degree elbow on here, because this is way stronger. What you can sometimes see is that the elbow will fly off, so this is way better. That the air is like directed and that your silicone connector is over here and not over here. Yeah, it's kind of nice. It has, is this a twin scroll deal? Looks like it. Yeah, there's also this one thing that Chelsea also always keeps talking about, is that's the water port on the back of a 2J. We ran a 2J a couple of years ago and it had like overheating problems because everybody plugs the hose here in the back. We found out that if you route it back, that's way better. Also, it helps a lot with getting the air out of the system. I'm not sure how he does it over here. Probably doesn't do it because this motor is so incredibly close to the firewall. That's really sick. It's also a very long motor. That's kind of my thing with the 2Js, like because they have good bore spacing and all that stuff, they're a little bit longer than a BMW inline 6. So it's quite a big motor to fit in a car, especially if it's not a full pro car where you need to have the radiator and the intercooler up front. So it kind of gets, like you can barely get the belt out here with these fans. So it's kind of cramped up. I like the V8s because there's a huge amount of space. He runs a standard intake manifold, which is of course good. You can run like 800 horsepower with it, but what I don't like is that you need to take it apart to get the fuel injectors and the line out. So that's one thing. I'm sure that they'll do 1,000,000 miles and 800 horsepower, but I don't really like that you need to take the intake manifold apart to reach the injectors. Here, of course, like I always try to build a car that the front foot, at least a foot or a foot and a half, doesn't have any fragile stuff, because like in the transition or if something happens. And here, of course, because it's not a rear mount radiator, he needs to run all his coolers and everything in the front. So even in front of the chassis that's over here, you have a lot of stuff, a lot of coolers and things. So if you have a little fender bender, you could possibly like push the bumper in there and the thing is broken and you need another intercooler. So that's kind of the thing about the 2J. It gets really cramped in S chassis engine bay. Apart from that, this car has so much more style than my car ever will have. Really cool. I think this is all the sponsor, like the Icon guys. They had him put this wrap on. I kind of like it. I don't know how long I would like it myself if it was my car. Maybe after a year was kind of like done with it. Got the carpet in. I'm sure he did that for Driftweek too. Yeah, really nice. I like that Brandon is one of those OG guys that has like the stock handbrake. He probably, like on the S chassis, you can actually use the standard handbrake. On the BMWs, it doesn't really work. So that's really cool. It's got a nice little JDM style shifter knob on here, really cool. Like that's all that kind of stuff that I don't know which brand they are, and I never run that kind of cool stuff. That's just for other people. This is also something that I really want to put on a car, like a nice steering wheel. Like a lot of guys like this because the grip, it doesn't have a lot of grip, so it's easy to let it slide through your fingers. Like I usually have the suede steering wheels, grips way more on your hands or on your gloves. Yeah, so I think this is really cool. Most of the stuff that we do is completely stripped out. Like I don't think I've ever done an S chassis with like carpets or anything. It's all like full Pro Car cage, everything. So it's kind of nice to see a car like with the standard door panels. This is also nice that you have a coupe. A Nissan will be a coupe with like manual windows. Like that's nice.
Man, you're brave rolling up his windows, man.
Oh man, he did Driftweek with it. He
this
makes
is really
sure all that
interesting.
stuff works.
Wout is always like the loudest dude screaming at the restaurant, how he hates everything, and he's always mad. But when we put him on camera, he's 180 degrees.
It was just this
nice.
morning because
Yeah,
I was in the
so
restaurant
nice.
and I got a stupid Amber Alert. That's why I was irritated.
Yeah,
I'm
he was
usually
literally
never
cussing and like
irritated. I'm
everyone was
super nice.
freaking out of the restaurant. So I'm gonna have the opposite look. This is a fun car to look at. I've driven this car. It's a great car to drive because he paired like a small turbo with a running 2J. With I guess a 1J head, so it's got 3 liters, it's got 450 horsepower about, but it drifts super well and it's super easy to drive. But if you come over here, give me your stick, give me your light stick. I want to show the audience some things. So every single part of a Brandon car is cobbled together, and that's the most entertaining part of everything about him.
Rust included.
Yeah, broken headlight, broken mounts, broken headlight, all jankily put together. A mount, I don't even know what that mount does. Like handmade mount that's rusty. Intercooler that must have been broken, so they cut it down, like the portion of it that was broken, I assume, and I'm sure I can find tons of JB Weld on it, and then cut it down, re-welded it so that it's a working intercooler again. You come up here, rust, that's just a JZ thing. Wiring harness is a mess, but like it works. I can just start the fan off this thing. Every single time he gets in and out of the car, he has to go do this.
Aaron, it's not fair to harass me when I'm not around.
Yeah.
Look, I have a car over there that I literally built last week. Not a car that I've had for 3 years. That's been cobbled together.
No,
why don't you pick through the car that's...
You should do this with us.
It's really
Join
funny
it.
that he's just saying, wow, you're always so angry and you're not nice. I just gave a really nice review of your car and
explain
he's
this to
talking
me.
shit about the car
How
like
did you
for
do
5
this?
minutes.
How'd you do this? You flipped him for caster.
Yeah.
How'd you do
You
that?
got a different control on a different knuckle. This is a trail knuckle.
Do you just turn them?
Yeah, you just turn...
That's it?
They're
all symmetrical?
Symmetrical, yeah.
I never knew you could do that.
I hate this car. That's why I built that car.
I love this car. It drove amazing.
I mean, look, like I hate this. I hate that. I hate
get that.
all this. You know what I mean? That's
But
why I don't
it
want to drive
works
this anymore.
really well.
I bought this. We did some work on this car, so some of it's our work, some of it's not. And everything that I hate about it, I don't want to redo.
Everything just looks like yours right now.
Well, regardless of everything,
I
we're
just
just
saw
going
Aaron
around.
my car, and I was like, no, something's going on. I gotta go defend myself.
He was talking
I gotta
shit
go
the
defend
whole
myself.
time.
No,
And he calls me
I'm
mean.
saying it's amazing.
When you're ready, let's
Man,
look at that
didn't
car,
say it
that's
was
one that we
amazing.
built.
He did
No,
not
we're
say
saying
it was-
it's cobbled together and everything's a mess, but it functioned really well.
Well-
Look at this. This, I don't even know what's going on. Power steering
Catch can.
reservoir.
Yeah, the reservoir's mounted to the catch can for the engine.
It's tilted. It's not even straight up and down. It's not for the correct car. It's some electric thing. This whole thing is broken.
It's got
and
water
leaking.
in it too.
Oh God, does it? Is it?
Milk.
Yeah, look at this. I didn't even get to that yet.
That is disgusting.
That means he's got a blown head gasket or something.
It's
We
always
got
so
some
negative.
dude revving a truck in the
You
back.
should watch this video, how nice I am about this car.
All right, let's go look at the car Brandon really wants us to look at.
Well, now it's broken.
Oh, why did it break?
I don't know yet.
You built it.
So this does not look anything like a Brandon car to me. Aftermarket intake manifold, super clean wiring for the most part, like nicely done turbo stuff, clean valve covers. It was all clean before. AN fittings. Where'd you get AN fittings? In some like weird deal?
What is that?
Yeah, what's going on?
Stop.
What is that?
Hold on, stop.
I could tell.
He saw
I
from a mile
knew.
away. It's fraudulent.
This guy's actually mounted as opposed to the other one. There's speaker wire down. What are you running an amp up front?
Yeah.
What are you running speaker wire
To the
for?
power steering pump.
Wait, what?
Which is currently our problem.
Oh no, too say.
We'll figure that out.
I'm like amazed it's not a lampshade wire or something like that.
I like it. This car doesn't have a booster. How do you like it?
I like it. It's got huge, giant CTSV rotors.
I saw that.
And I changed the ratio on the pedal to give it.
I saw that you were changing it. Yeah.
It's still not perfect, but I mean it's a race car.
Yeah, it's nice because it kind of cramps up the whole area here. So
Your tie rods are a little bit offset. What's up with that?
The racks move forward.
Okay.
How are you on the water line that's over here? Do you like cap them or?
No, I always run them. It's going to the heater core. I have a heater core in this car.
Because that one is like so close to the firewall. Like this, did you block that one?
No.
Oh, also great, fantastic. Because that's.
I always run them so you can get cooler flow through the block.
Oh yeah, perfect,
It's
perfect.
not bad. We did a good job.
No, it's nice.
This is great.
I like
We've
it.
already started with the temporary repairs on the trackside repairs.
Who built it?
Our shop, Duisburg.
Oh, okay.
With the help of the guys that keep me in check, say, hey, don't do it that way. Do it this way, the right way.
This is interesting.
And it's made in 2 weeks, which is crazy. 2 weeks time.
Well, no, what I was gonna say is like this head is different.
This is a
You're having to go get rid. Like, you don't have 2 JZ GTE heads or 1J heads
well,
left.
they're worth $2,000 now. So this
Right.
is a $100 head. I grabbed it and was like, well, this
That's
is
my point.
Yeah.
And you no
Yeah.
longer have a crazy manifold
Correct.
and everything.
Correct.
Is that the only reason you went to an aftermarket manifold? Is because you had to? Because the head?
What's funny is I got this manifold in trade for some other stuff and decided to build the car around the manifold.
So I was gonna say, this car looks more baller than the other one because he had to, because he's being even cheaper than the other one because of this head. I'm right.
It works so well. This is the future. The GTE stuff is going to be priced out, and people are going to start using these heads.
Where are they coming out of? Just IS300s?
IS and GS. Don't go buy them all.
So the GS, there's
Too
enough
late.
of them left.
Yeah.
Did you see this car on track? How fast it is? This motor is turned on.
Is it?
This is a 3076 with a 63 housing. It spools at 3,000 RPM.
This
It
goes
just
like
makes
crazy.
tons of
Better than
torque.
the other one?
Same turbo.
Oh yeah,
It's
no,
just
it's
that's
awesome.
a 1.5. This is a 2J, but
Yeah, so it's
Similar,
probably similar.
similar, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that car was great.
That car was great. This
look
is
at
so
this car
nice.
now before
Don't
the
cut
end of the
this
season.
outside.
At the end of the
Don't
season,
cut it.
No, I mean driving the car was great. When I drove the car was, I told you immediately, like it was legitimately good. I drove out there and he's like, oh wow, like first lap. Like the car was so good I didn't have to feel it out or do anything. Like we just trucked the car.
yeah, Aaron
and
linked
did
the track
everything.
in Medford first try, and I was
If
like,
it's a nice small turbo, like people put way too big
Oh
turbo.
god, Aaron can link a track?
You're a good driver.
Oh.
Wow.
you've been driving for 25 years?
Oh, I did a full interview with Forest Wang. He started drifting and stuff in 1997.
In Hawaii, when they still had a track.
Yeah, but I was just like, in dirt fields, in the
Oh.
pineapple fields. But I was like, 1997, I was like, no wonder you felt like more advanced than a lot of the other guys. You were drifting like a decade before us. It's amazing. I just didn't realize that because when he got to America, he appeared so young and all
Right,
these other
right.
things. I didn't take like into appreciation that he got into
That's-
drifting at 13.
That's similar to James Dean, right? He started drifting in a dirt field in his backyard when he was
Yeah.
10 or 11 or something.
Yeah, it's like cheater having
Good
parents
drivers.
that like
10 or
it.
11 is old in Ireland now. They're like 5.
All right, I don't need any more attention.
What
before
is
you
this
find
little
anything
guy
else.
doing?
That's the
That's
fuel pressure.
The sensor.
Yeah.
Fuel pressure sensor.
But I'm saying is you're actually running a fuel pressure sensor?
Yeah, it actually saved us yesterday. We didn't know what was wrong, and that saved us. We were
Oh,
able
wow.
to log it on the ECU and figure out what was going on.
I just can't imagine you running like a sensor that does anything.
EMU black.
Oh.
Yeah, all the good stuff.
All right.
This
Any
is
other
really cool.
He's running CTSV brakes. I can't imagine that. Why do you have cool brakes? Are you running out of braking power on
I
track?
got them for free.
Oh, okay.
Cheap.
That's why.
Cheap now.
Yeah.
I like
Not
this
cheap
car.
enough for
It's
me
nice.
unless they're free.
What size injectors?
1,000, 1050.
Okay, it's E85.
It will be.
But it's 91 right now.
Yeah. So I can crank the boost.
The only reason he'd run E85 is because it's cheaper than 91.
Well, I built this just for clutch kickers. This car, I'm testing it here, taking the clutch kickers. They have E85 all around the track.
Is it
so-
capable of winning there?
I mean, I did third in that place. And that,
Yeah,
did
but
third place
we're
in that car.
talking about first. No, I'm being
Yeah,
serious.
it is.
No, we were on the highway up here, and he was on par with a brand new Supra GR on the highway. It was, of course, 100% the speed limit-ish, but he was on par. Like, I was driving in the center lane.
Oh, speeding is not the most illegal thing about these cars on the road.
I'm serious.
You think?
Speeding would be a $150 fine.
I'm just saying,
what
the
the
thing
cops
is fast.
find
This
in
is a
here is
fast
like
car.
another like 20,000.
I really think this is the fastest car. I want to find
Here?
the challenge. I think so.
Oh no, my car's faster.
Okay.
If it runs. if it's on the ground with the transmission in it,
How about you drive this and then tell me what you think?
we'll just race.
I'm biased. Okay. All right. Like, I don't have to flex. I don't think, I was just following people, and this car is faster, gripped up more, whatever it is. I'm following people with no problem.
Yeah, everybody always says that about their cars.
Yeah, but I don't. I always say my car's the slowest because it usually is. But there's something about this car that's super fast. I'm the most humble person you'll ever meet. All right, I'm gonna go work.
Bye.
Next car.
All right,
what are we
let's go
doing?
look.
Where's my lightsaber? You want my lightsaber? Did you see that?
Wait, watch this. It's like Halloween if I do it like that.
So
he's evil. Wow.
He's
Even
nice
without
today.
light. Look,
I know.
it's
Nice Wout today.
it's shaped like a Star Trek lightsaber.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Let's cut this out.
Hey,
It's shaped like a Star Trek lightsaber.
Star Trek don't have
Star
lightsabers.
Trek doesn't have them.
Star Trek doesn't have any lightsabers. It's shaped like a Star Wars lightsaber. You know?
English isn't his first language.
Who owns this piece of shit, man?
No, this thing.
That's not even a drift car. It's a road car with some wheels on it.
What do you think about Mustangs?
I love Mustangs.
Do you?
Yeah,
What
I
do you
like
love
big
about 'em?
cars. I like big cars. If you see a big car go down the track, I think it looks better than super small cars. But that's just me. I also love like GT86s and all that stuff. But for me, like big cars are way cooler. This is the 5-liter, really good motor. The one thing I don't like about this motor is that it's not small. So if you look at it, it's quite a big motor because it's basically European style engine. It's not really an American style motor. Chelsea obviously runs
Wait, why is it not American style motor?
well, it's like not like really old fashioned like with small heads and stuff. It just has a little bigger heads. I
Oh, you
looked
mean
at
overhead cam?
I looked at these things at SEMA and I was like, whoa, if I measure out an LS, that's like way less wide. And this is quite a big car, so if you had to put this motor in an S13, Kelsey Rowling says it, right? So I'd like to check that
Did they
car
like
out.
touch the strut tower?
Yeah, so that's like kind of my thing. I like to have a lot of space around the motor. What's really nice about these things, it's kind of a newish car, so you can just go in the auto zone and get a clutch or all that stuff. And it's probably because it's a powerful car from the factory, the standard clutch is probably okay-ish, all that stuff. Yeah, so I like them. I think they look really cool. I think it's a super cool model. Like this is how you design a car. You have a high waistline, you have small windows. That looks really good. Most of the new BMWs, they are kind of like bloated and they look tall and they have all kinds of weird lines in the body to make it look small. This is just how you design a car. I think that's really cool. That's an actual classic coupe shape. Elliot, how's the car doing? Are you happy?
Yeah, it's good. I stripped you can't see it now, but there's my dual caliper bracket.
Oh, damn.
I stripped a bolt a long time ago.
Oh, man.
I helicoiled it though, so every so often it backs up and I just retighten it. So
But look at this
just
suspension.
reassembling that.
That is such a weird suspension arm right there, that vertical piece on the knuckle.
This?
That?
Yeah, the knuckle's kind of like a two-piece knuckle. It's weird. The knuckle, I wish you guys were here 2 minutes ago, you would have seen everything,
But it's so cool that these things were only a generation before these. They were like live rear axle.
Yeah.
And now they are like
Yep.
super gnarly IRS.
yeah, that's the reason I bought this car.
Yeah, look at those bushings like on that arm. That's it's beefy as hell.
Everything on this is a monster.
Yeah, and look, I like this. Like boom, boom, it's off.
Yeah.
Like that's great.
Yeah. Big
Yeah, I
bones.
like that. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Sheds.
I like them, and if you take into account what these things cost and what they actually are, I really love that.
Yeah.
You bought this thing like at a Ford dealership, right?
Yeah, I bought it new.
Oh, you bought it new?
I bought it brand new, 8 grand under sticker.
That's so, like, I love that. I love
They
that
called
stuff.
me the week before Driftweek. They're like, yeah, we're calling about the 2018 you bought. I was like, yeah, I got it. They're like, we want to buy it back for more than you paid. I was like, that's cool. I'm going on a trip. I'm going to be drifting it. For a
So
few
crazy.
weeks, so.
Look at that.
So you like the way that Mustangs are going with each new model iteration, right?
Yeah, with Ford, it's kind of weird that they sometimes really reinvent certain models. If you look at the Ford T-Bird, there's like 5 different cars from 1957 to 1975. There's like a big sedan or a super small coupe or like a family car. Ford has a thing that they keep on changing their models. Like GM is way more consistent. If you take a look at the Corvette,
Yeah.
the only big change in the Corvette so far, apart from when they got the transmission in the rear, is now with the C8, where they're like rear motor cars. It's really typical for Ford to do that kind of stuff. So I like cars with rear axles. Like it's really good for drifting. You can do perfect setups with a live rear axle. But this is really great, and it also means like they know how to do stuff, you know. It's really good suspension. And look at Chelsea and Vaughn with those cars.
I know
They're
Chelsea drifting
monsters.
his new like 2022 Mustang on track the other day at Potts Acres was amazing. You
Yeah.
like that car?
I love that car.
I know, the new Mach-E is really cool.
No, not the Mach-E. The Mach-E sucks.
No, he was drifting the Mach-E on the
I
track.
saw that. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
this FD car is cool. A
I'm glad
Mach-E
you were
is not
watching that
nice.
and enjoying it.
It's a Democrat car.
Yeah.
So if you're a Republican or like a normal hardworking person, you get the real Mustang. If you're a liberal Democrat, you get the electric Mustang.
Yeah.
So it's one thing for something for everybody.
I love it.
Yeah, good. So
Do they
So
sell the
now-
Mach-E's in your country yet?
yeah, so I hate
Good.
it.
Do they
I-
sell those Mustangs?
Yeah,
Yeah?
they're like 150 grand.
What?
Yeah, it's
No, I was just saying your name.
socialism. Should we look at E36s or this car, or what do you want to look at?
I mean, we already looked at E36s. This is just a stock car. This would be a great engine swap candidate to get the motor and like turbo it.
I think this looks really cool. Like, this is what I mean. Like, now I have the different stickers on my car. I really love the stickers like this.
Yeah, you're 14.
The fitment of the wheels are really cool. I think this is a super good looking model. Like, I love that it has like a really short overhang. This car actually...
I like the fact he has a stock airbox.
Yeah,
No, for real. Like every stock part on a car
that.
is not going to fail. Every time you modify a part, it's going to fail. Stock exhaust manifold, that's not going to have a problem. Stock airbox, ain't going to have a problem. Stock MAF, all works with a stock ECU.
but this is like, when these things came out, it was kind of like a reaction to the BMW E46. And if you look at the styling, it's also kind of similar to an E46 because that was a really good selling car. In Europe, they actually are, almost all of them are 4 cylinders. There's a couple 6 cylinders, majority are 4 cylinders. I remember when these things came out, when they were brand new, like in 2000, I loved them. Why? The transmission shifts so well. Like, I've been driving BMWs since ever, and one thing I don't like about BMW is the transmission is a little notchy. Like, they never shift super nice. Japanese cars have the nicest shifting operation. I once understood from somebody who works at Toyota that is because, like, in the 60s and 70s, most Japanese cars were auto, and it was very difficult for people to get used to manuals. So they made the operation of the transmission super easy. I drove this one for the first time, a brand new one in 2000. And I was like, man, if only BMW shifted this well. It's crazy how good these shift. So that's what I love. And it's probably one of my favorite newer Japanese model cars. It's just totally my style, like short overhang on the front. It's a sedan, I love sedans. Sedans are also great for putting the cage in. It's very practical for things like Driftweek. Really cool car. And now with these body kit, what body kit is this?
So it's Don Musk. And
Oh, it's Musk from Poland. That's crazy. That's really cool. I didn't know Musk made those things for this model. Yeah, so look at that. This is also really cool from these things. So the way they have the dials over here, that's kind of like an expensive watch. So if you buy like a chronograph, like a Rolex or something like that, so they kind of took it off. Oops. They took it from like watches, so I really like that. Super nice car. He has the pull-up handbrake. I like this car. It's super cool. I think this is perfect for Driftweek. Everything in the engine bay is standard. Not taking any risks with that. It looks super stylish. Like, if you see this car, you wouldn't be able to tell that it's basically stock under the hood. You'd think this is a huge 1,000 horsepower 2J car. Really cool car. One of my favorites. Mustang. I thought there were going to be way more Mustangs on Driftweek. When I was in the group chat, I was like, man, it's going to be Mustang week. But there's only one of these. I thought it was going to be like 4 or 5 of these. I don't know much about them, to be honest, except that everything is interchangeable with the older generation. So it's basically just a different body, but you can put like the rear and front axle of the older one on these. I don't know. What do you think about them? You like the way they look?
I ran out of pocket snacks.
Sure. You don't take this seriously, do you?
I do. I'm just listening to you. I'm letting you do your thing, man.
Man. Yeah, so what do you think about it?
that he's like a totally different person on
So
camera.
nice though.
I'm not a totally
He's
different
100
person.
I am like, Sai, I'm getting the mic close. Am I the same person on camera as I am in real life?
Yeah, pretty much.
And what about Wout?
Well, it's very different. He talks
That's not
so much
true.
crap about everything else, but like when he goes to cars,
Never.
it's so nice.
When did you ever hear me talk crap about any of these cars that we just...
I know, I'm saying you're so nice when you talk about cars. When you talk about anything else, you
that's
hate
true.
everything else.
I hate everything else. I hate people. I love cars. That's true.
I think this is interesting. You would never see this on like a non-Driftweek car. Bash bar, built in with a trailer hitch, so we can carry, you know, something on a platform back here, whether it be tires or a cooler or whatever. This is a very like Driftweek specific mod.
Cool exhaust.
Oh yeah, I love straight pipes. They're the best.
You don't. No, this is cool.
It's called sarcasm, Wout. Are Americans known for sarcasm?
No.
Oh.
They're known for not
Not known for
getting
sarcasm?
sarcasm.
Oh. Sorry, I didn't know that.